This conference will now be recorded.
There we go. It is Monday, June 9th. It is 7:01 p.m. This meeting of Conservation Commission is now open. First up, we have request for determination of applicability for 211 East Street for a home addition.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Mike Madeline, and this is my wife Elizabeth. And I want to thank you for listening to my plan. And so we have a single-family home in the Swift River down by the hatchery. And we're both getting kind of old, and we're getting tired of going up the stairs. So we want to put a little bedroom off the back with a bathroom and a walk-in closet. So as we get older, it'll be easier to get around. So my proposal is to put an addition on the back of the house. The river actually, the house sits right on the river. And to get to the river, it's down a set of 12 steps to get into the river. So it's a very steep bank. And the high water rarely comes up 5-6 feet. And the bordering vegetated wetland is all within that steep bank. So then it's my lawn. So it's actually away from the river where I want to put the addition on. It's approximately the edge of the work is 55 feet away from the riverbank. And so, I'm going to hire a professional contractor to do the work, and they're going to put in the erosion controls. And also I've written it in the contract to stabilize any disturbed surfaces once they're completed, and to guarantee it for a period of a year so that we make sure we get any regrowth or any of that type of stuff necessary. So the work involves putting in the addition, and currently there is a electrical line that goes over where I want to put the addition, servicing the next house at the end of my driveway. So the power company is going to move the pole over a bit. So I'm asking for permission to put another pole in away from the addition. So it's 10 or 15 feet over, and then to limb a few trees and take a couple trees down to clear that easement. So it's just moving the easement over a bit around the addition. So that would be National Grid doing that work, and I have a professional contractor that's going to do the tree removal work. We're also going to be installing a 500-pound underground storage propane tank for an emergency generator, and that would go next to the addition, and that would be permitted by the fire department. So any property setbacks or whatever, or property line or building setbacks would be permitted accordingly. So that's basically the project. And we filed the request for determination because that's what we were instructed to do. So we did that. And so that's where we're at. So we're asking for permission to do that. And we're planning on starting in a couple months. So trying to get this out of the way. We're also getting approval from the town Board of Health to install the addition in accordance with Title V regulations. It's a matter of they're doing a septic inspection and then making sure that it's has adequate capacity for the new bedroom. So they're all set with that. I'm in the process of getting that inspected and getting that approved. So, but
Thank you. Sarah, you've been out there. Your thoughts?
So I did a brief inspection after this was filed. I did hear from DEP just within the past couple of days that the work, that this project actually requires a notice of intent because it's riverfront, and because, so the work is proposed within, the inner 100 feet to the 200-foot riverfront area. That's one factor. Additionally, the addition creates new impervious area. Like in my mind, the addition was going to be, within a pre-existing disturbed lawn area, and so I figured that wasn't a problem. But again, the project proposes new additional impervious area, and like for example, if the addition was proposed on an existing impervious area, such as conversion of an existing driveway to the house, and it was just a conversion, then we could permit this under an NOI, or I mean an RDA. But the guidance I have been given is that this does require a notice of intent.
Afraid of that.
Yeah,
So is there a basement under this?
that would be.
There's a basement under the existing house, and the plan was to put a crawl space underneath the addition, 4-foot crawl space.
So is this in the floodplain?
The proposed addition is just outside of the limits of the 100-year floodplain as shown on the plot.
So we're not worried about compensatory storage?
No. And if compensatory storage was a concern, DEP would have raised that concern.
Yeah, I don't even have flood insurance on the
So-
house, if you can believe that.
Oh, jeez.
They don't-
I mean, the flood down there is predictable. Would it make any difference if he mounted it on piers?
No.
No, you're still in the, you're still in the.
So even if
riverfront.
he did a deck on piers, we're doing an NOI. Okay.
You're still inside of this is the state regs. This is this DEP is.
Right.
picked this
No, I
up.
get it.
No, so for a deck, under the minor exemptions in the regulations,
Even if it's within riverfront.
the conversion to uses accessory to residential structures such as decks, sheds, patios, etc., provided that material staging and stockpiling is located more than 50 feet from the mean annual high water line within the riverfront area, bank, or BVW. So the closest limit of the proposed addition is 55 feet from the observable high water line. So if it was a deck, it would be a minor exempt activity within the riverfront area because it would be more than 50 feet from the mean annual high water
Can we call it a shed?
line.
So-
I don't know that we could call
so,
it a
I
shed
mean-
unless it was detached.
Oh, it's an attached shed. I mean, a
I'm,
shed-
I'm trying to figure out a way that he can move forward.
That's what I've been trying to do too.
So the only thing I can think of is if he gets rid of the wall and goes on piers.
No, it's
But you're
good.
saying that's not doable.
It doesn't change it.
I don't think so. Yeah, there is no like exemption for work within the riverfront area to convert lawn to an addition, because again,
Well,
it's a
yeah,
house
but
addition, it's
but
not
instead of
accessory
excavating
use.
out a footing and a wall, you're just putting in 4 or 6 piers.
Well, so,
I mean, do you see where I'm going with this?
oh, I do. But, well,
I mean, if
okay,
it's not
so
gonna
let me,
work,
let me
it's not
ask,
gonna work, but
I mean, okay, so he has to submit an NOI. Does that delay him because there's
6-8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks?
We could, I mean, an NOI wouldn't be able to make it onto our June 23rd meeting, but it would
You
be
think
able.
they could get one together that fast?
What?
I mean, I don't know, but I don't have time to advertise it.
Yeah, no, but I mean, yeah, there's that too.
So what's the July meeting?
The July meeting is the third week in July, right? So that makes it the 21st.
5 weeks.
of July.
And then there's
That's doable.
then there's a 10-day business day appeal period after that. Right. But puts them back to the end of July.
It puts them out, yeah, to the 1st of August.
When are you planning on starting?
We were tentatively planning on July. That was hopeful thinking, but we still have to get the septic inspected, which is going to happen in July. And then the building permits, and we have to have the pole moved, so there's a lot of moving pieces. So I was thinking of starting in August, maybe now.
Just for the RDA.
I don't think we can do the RDA for the pole because it was all submitted as one project. And the pole isn't located along a driveway, it's within an easement, and there's tree removal and tree limbing required. The limbing maybe not so problematic, but why does National Grid file an RDA with us anytime that they have tree removals? Because tree removals for utility pole installation are captured under our local bylaw. So I don't think that we could do anything other than issue a positive determination requiring an NOI for the whole thing.
Which probably should include all the potential septic work.
Um,
Yeah, if we're going down this road, we may as well capture it all in one file.
So do you need to expand your
No.
septic system?
No, we are, the way we're working is my house is technically a 1-bedroom, and we're adding a bedroom on, and it's designed 2-bedroom. So, but to get the exception, we have to have it inspected, Title V inspection, and we have to put a limitation on the deed that it's limited to 2 bedrooms. So that's all going to happen before we get the building permit. But, they're going to dig 2 pits, the B box and the tank, and inspect it. So that's within 30 feet of the river.
You can't go for your building permit until you've got your order of conditions correct.
Yeah.
You,
We have not gotten a septic review memo for this property yet. So typically we get, if it's just an inspection,
well,
we would only get notified. The only way that we would get notified
Everything
is
goes-
if it fails Title V and they need to upgrade the system.
and then, yeah,
So we don't know that right now.
No, we don't.
But I don't know that if it's just an inspection, it's not within our purview.
we don't have to wait.
We don't.
We don't have to wait if it's just an inspection unless they get bad results.
Can he come back under an RDA if should it need anything?
For
For
a
the sep-
septic?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah. And the septic location may have to be moved to conform with
Yeah.
our local bylaw,
Yeah.
depending on where it is. But there are some other provisions in our bylaw regarding the septic system,
Yeah.
specifically pertaining to the leach bed.
We don't have well, I'm speaking for myself, but basically we're fine with the project,
Right.
but procedurally, we're
Well, that's okay, I understand.
there's no way we can get on for the next June meeting.
So we could potentially,
Yeah.
if I advertise through the Daily Hampshire Gazette, as long as I can have the 5 business days of publication before the 23rd. So I would need to file. So also Town Hall is closed June 19th and June 20th. So I will not be here.
Well, who did you do this notice of or RDA?
Yes.
You can do the notice.
I was gonna say, you can do the notice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. These plans have been designed by a licensed contractor.
Yeah, the
I'll
original,
accept it.
And you've got Sherman and Fredericks as for a surveyed plan.
Mm-hmm.
So when do you have to get it into the Gazette by?
It's been a long time since I've given them anything.
When is the next
So, well,
meeting?
because the office is, because town hall is closed, June 19th and 20th, that means those are not business days.
What do you,
I have to get them a legal notice by tomorrow. So that's not feasible because they need at least 24 hours to get it into the following day's newspaper. And that gives me 1, 2, 3. Well, yeah, if I get a legal notice to them tomorrow, they'll publish it on the 11th. And that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days only before town hall is closed. So I don't think it's feasible to try to make it.
so the 19th is June 19th, right?
Yes,
And what's the 20th?
town hall is administratively closed.
So it doesn't have, that doesn't,
Those are not business days.
well, they are for the rest of the world. They're business days. They're just not business days for the town hall. It doesn't.
What are you trying to squeeze it into the meeting on the 23rd?
Yeah.
That was
It's not going to happen. That's what she's telling me. It's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, I've always treated days
No, I
when
understand.
town hall is closed as non-business days because we are not here doing business. And I've had to adjust filings of things accordingly before. Maybe my interpretation of the regulations is different. But in my mind, if town hall is closed, it is, I mean, the Thursday of June 19th is a holiday. That is not a business day.
No, I know that. I know
So at so that I treat both of those as non-business days.
that.
So you're going to have the agenda in on next Tuesday?
I wouldn't, just because the town hall is closed, it's not a Massachusetts holiday, it's not a federal holiday. I would say it was a business day. The banks are open, stock market's open. That's a business.
You mean the
day.
20th?
Yeah, the 20th.
The 19th is a federal holiday.
I understand that.
I just don't know that this gentleman can turn around and get me an NOI by Thursday. Also Thursday, I'm not in the office at all on Thursday, so I can't even get a legal notice to the paper, any paper by Thursday. I would have to do it tomorrow or Friday, and Friday would be, that Friday doesn't give us enough time. It doesn't. I don't think.
What meeting dates are you proposing? You're going to be out of town on vacation for a couple weeks. So, and that's,
Well, June 23rd is where we have a meeting.
June 23rd.
And then,
July 14th.
I mean, June 23rd, yeah, July 14th, and probably July 28th.
July 28th.
No.
We're only doing one meeting in
One in
July.
July,
What's that,
yeah.
21st?
July
My
14th.
apologies,
Only the 14th.
the
okay.
14th, yes.
That's probably what
So
I
July,
think July 14th would be the best thing to shoot for.
you don't necessarily have to be here, but you need to get the paperwork.
I could have my son come and.
I mean, we've already heard it.
Yeah.
You're not changing it.
So, yeah, that would work.
And
we're
that
watching
would
a
get-
grandson who's going to be playing hockey out of state. So we're not missing that. Of course.
So the 14th, we issued on the 15th or whatever, that would get your 10-day appeal period would be over by the 1st of August. 1st of August, you can apply for a building permit after you get your approval before the end of the appeal.
That'd be great. Like I said, we have to wait till we get the Title V inspection, which is going to be into July. So, that date will probably be fine.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Do we need to vote on anything?
We do.
All right.
We have to make a motion, we issue a positive determination. This project requires a notice of intent.
We have a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We need,
The other motion would be under the bylaw.
we can't capture that all in one single motion.
No. This, I mean, the work would only be subject to the bylaw if it's within 50 feet of the resource area. So I think that would be a -6, that it's not subject.
Still within the business.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still, the positive overrides that. We
Yeah,
we
so
need an
that-
NOI, so I mean,
So that, my apologies, so then it would be a positive, +5.
Move we issue a positive 5 on
any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You have a unanimous for a +5.
And so when does he have to have the notice in for? Good
For the
question.
July 14th meeting, I would honestly like to have it in, I would need it in by June 23rd.
Cool.
2 weeks.
We'll get together with you on the paperwork. And, do you do the butter notification or do you do
You would request that from the assessor's office.
the assessor's office?
Yep.
And they would mail it out?
You would mail it out.
Okay, so I gotta get the list from them then.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, easy enough.
Awesome.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, my apologies for the confusion.
Good luck.
That extended across the river too? Yeah.
They'll help him with the 100-foot radius.
Yeah,
But no, I don't see, I mean, I guess it could notify individuals in where, as a.
I'm thinking they're gonna have to. I'm just trying to think of,
I would think
because that's
so.
not stuff that they have upstairs.
It's out of town. Yes. It
Yeah,
is-
I've
it-
worked with the assessors before, with pulling an abutter notification where it spanned into Palmer, and I helped them with using the Palmer GIS.
So we're signing this, right?
Yeah, you're signing it for sure. Yeah, I felt bad. I thought that there was an exemption for, work on a single family home lot that was like expansion of a single family home that was built before the Rivers Act, but apparently I was confused. which
Okay,
happens a lot.
next up, we have a request for determination of applicability, 532 Franklin Street, Sandy Walsh septic replacement.
Hi, I'm Neil Jackson, J&P Engineering Services. I'm representing Sandy Walsh for a septic repair at 532 Franklin Street. Currently, she has a project going on to the southeast of the pond. I'm sure the Conservation Commission's aware of that project. So this is pretty much the final thing she has to do is repair her failed septic.
So this is the house with the pond,
Yeah, the pond is to the
or
south.
right next to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And is the leach, am I reading the leach field is 32 from the BBW off to the south? Off to the
72.
west? Is that 72?
Yeah, 72.
Right in the field. Put it on the field.
Yeah, sorry. That's 72.
So this meets Title V.
Yes.
And is that lawn?
It is lawn now, yeah. Yeah, there's no trees.
Board have any questions or concerns? Sarah?
No,
Did you want to see this? I move we issue a negative, whichever,
-3
-3.
for work in the buffer zone.
I don't see you have much of a choice of where you're putting it.
Here we have a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the motion?
Doug, are you all set? Just want to look at the plan, that's all.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
Neil, are you gonna be around? You want me to mail it or leave it for pickup?
I'll pick it up.
Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh. Next up, we have a request for determination of applicability, Lot E, Woodland Lane, John Bollier, single-family home construction.
So we bought Woodland Lane with an approved septic design. Had our stormwater engineering done with that approved septic design. And we have some intrusion into the wetlands. There's no actual construction. There's like 2 feet of fill and like a little triangle prototype, but we're just asking for permission. If there's trees out there, so it's all the house.
Intrusion into wetlands or into the
Oh,
buffer
sorry, into
zone?
the 100-foot buffer. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry guys, I only have one copy of this plan. Yeah, there's only a very small portion of grading.
You see the kitchen.
So the permit itself pertains to tree removal, to prep the site for the single family home development, and then some slight grading, associated with the single family home development. A very small portion of the project is actually within the 100-foot buffer zone to wetlands. Most of the work, I mean, the house, the septic, access drive, all of that is located outside of the commission's jurisdiction. I went down to the site today and checked out the wetland line. And, I mean, the wetlands are, you know, as the plan shows, again, there's only a very small amount of grading, tree removal and grading that will happen within the 100-foot buffer zone. Nothing is located within the locally protected no disturb zone. So
Is this the first filing we've seen on this?
for this lot, yes.
Okay. How many trees are being removed? 1, 2, 5, 10? Oh, an unknown amount.
It hasn't been quantified,
They can tell where we're walking.
but I did speak with the engineer and about, our local requirement of, or threshold of 2,500 square foot of disturbance in the buffer zone, which kicks it up to an NOI. And I agree that the amount of proposed disturbance in the buffer zone is nowhere near 2,500 square feet. We're talking maybe 1,000 square feet.
I move we issue a negative number.
Not seconding, whatever.
-3.
You all set down there?
There you go.
Yep.
A -3. Always got to know what box it is. All set?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
And the second motion, because the applicant checked the box, is under the local bylaw, so that would be a determination -6, that the work is not subject to the local bylaw.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
So I will finalize I'll do the formal issuance of the paperwork tomorrow. I'll send you the original in the mail. And and I think I kind of told you this, we talked about this on the phone, about the 10-day appeal period.
Yeah.
So as of tomorrow, you have 10 calendar days in which if you start work, you will be working at your own risk.
Okay.
In the event that an abutter or DEP wants to contest the commission's determination. I don't see that happening, but it's, I always advise the applicants about that 10-day appeal period.
And once we have the foundation staked, if we find that like there's a little bit more tree work in the wetlands, like do we have to come back? Or is that part of this?
So the first thing you'll do is you'll have the erosion controls installed.
Yep.
That will serve as your limit of work.
Yep.
Any additional tree removal beyond that requires another permit.
Okay, cool. Because our concern is the tree falling in the house.
Yeah.
We just want to kind of like, oh, hey, the foundation looks a little closer than it did on the paper.
I would advise your contractor to build it as shown. on that.
Absolutely, no. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Saying like if once it's staked and everything, we see, hey, that tree could fall in the house. Is that one tree is not a big deal, or we have to come back here?
You'd have to come back.
No problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, this type of permit approval can't be amended or revised.
Okay.
So, but from what I saw on the plan, it
think
looks
it's all
like
like-
there's a pretty large window or like area between the proposed house and where the silt fence is.
Yeah, and it's all like young growth anyway, so I'm not super worried about it. It's more, there's a couple gnarly old guys there.
Yeah, so this will be your limit of work here.
Okay.
I'd say between here and here, you've got a pretty significant area where
Yeah,
any trees that are removed within here, I mean, I don't think that you should have any issue with trees around here, but if that comes to be the case, we'll have a conversation about it.
cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I need to do it?
You are all set.
Thank you. Good luck.
Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Mr. Greene.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Richard Greene, 8 Warren Street, Belchertown. We've been working on a project for years to develop some land, and most of it is done. We have to deal with natural heritage, which is quite a thing to do. Anyway, there is 2 parcels of land that have to be donated to someone, and I want it to go to the Belchertown Conservation. That's what I said a long time ago, and I'm a man of my word. This is the plan if you want to pass it around. There's 2 parcels. One with owned by Richard Greene and one owned by Richard and Barbara Greene. The Richard and Barbara Greene has 3.5 acres, and one the piece owned by Richard Greene has a little over 2.5 acres. Comes down to 6.4 acres of land that has frontage on Route 9, and it goes back and it takes care of a brook right next to the solar farm over there on Route 9.
You mean Lousy Brook?
Huh?
You mean Lousy Brook?
Lousy Brook, yeah. The intermittent stream, we're gonna call it.
That's what your parents called it.
Lousy Brook.
Lousy Brook.
You got it.
When they were sitting here.
Anyway,
You know where that
we're
says?
in the process of trying to get it to the
This is
town.
DPW
There's the two.
state.
You're missing out. Ed.
Highway department. And then the solar farm
These are
back
the two
here.
tax
This is
bills
the
that go with it. And,
place. Okay, there's a big farm across the street.
So we're working with Frederick and Sherman, or
Yeah.
Sherman and Frederick, whatever it is right now. So one of the parts that we have to complete is to get this confirmed by the town that you will accept it. And then that's part of what they're doing. They're working with Natural Heritage with us too, to show that this has been done. So if you didn't want it, we've got to move on to somebody else. But we thought you did. Back in Leanne's day, maybe before that, I don't even remember. But
We had a conversation about it maybe about a year ago. But I was under the impression there was 3 parcels of land.
There are, but these are the two they want taken right now.
Okay.
there's 3 phases of work that were being done. And until the 3rd one is done, we've got to the 2 parcels right now. And there's one more yet to come. I think it'll total 18.5 acres.
So
Approximately.
That's what I thought.
When all is said and done. So we'll have to come one more time, but right now they want us to let them know that we,
Who's they?
Natural Heritage. Yeah. The Sherman and Frederick, they're working with them. Yeah. Because we're in the process of working on what's called phase 3 of the 3 projects that we have. So this is where we're at right now.
And the 3rd parcel, the bigger one, is that behind this one? Is that further
It's
from the?
behind and toward the west of the side.
Yeah, okay. West.
Pretty nice.
When I brought this to the commission about a year ago, the commission was, I mean, I could go back and find it in the minutes, but we discussed it and the commission was okay with accepting the land. I don't see any reason why the select board would be okay with that. But I can touch base with Steve on that to confirm. But also too, I mean, if it's a natural heritage requirement,
Which it is.
which I know it is, I don't know that, I feel like that's, enough to convince anybody that, that the town should accept the land. So I can confirm with Steve.
Whatever it takes for you guys to do, and if you can get a written confirmation. There doesn't have to be detail yet, because we know we gotta work with the lawyers, with the deed and all that stuff. I think you guys will probably tell us how it has to be. Maybe your attorney will say how it needs to be written up, and our attorney will do it, whatever, when we get that far.
Yeah, that, we would end up leaving that in the hands of the attorneys.
Attorneys, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But again, I know the commission was in favor of accepting the land donation. So I'll just confirm with Steve
Mhm.
and get back to you guys.
Mhm.
And then again, we'll let Sherman and Frederick do their thing and then just have it be in the hands of the lawyers afterwards.
Yeah, so that we can move forward with it, because we're kind of right now at a standstill until we get them all of the confirmation.
I think they had something saying from conservation that we want the land and we will accept it. It would go a long way with Sherman's.
They could keep working.
Yeah, I think of greater value though, well, not necessarily greater value, but an additional value too, would be just to confirm with Steve that the select board will be okay
Yeah.
with the acceptance.
Yeah.
Because not only does the commission have to sign off on the acceptance, but so doesn't the select board. So,
Are they requiring a deed restriction?
It's already done. We filed
You
all
already have-
conservation a couple of years ago.
Okay,
It's all in the registry. It's like 36 pages.
and is this process gonna cost us anything?
the only thing that it would end up costing would be our attorney's legal fees.
I'm in favor.
For what she would be doing. So their attorneys would be working together, but Sharon would end up most likely drafting the new deed and the acceptance of deed and doing the title search and stuff like that. So it may end up costing the town like $3,500 or something on that order. Oh, so, but, I mean, but also too, so I'm speaking from like a land acquisition perspective, not necessarily a donation perspective. So, but I would think that our attorney would want to write up the new deed and have it vetted by their. So, yeah, I mean, that's always a question that would come up. But,
Getting the donated land, we're not paying the town's attorney. We're paying our own attorney. We paid the town's attorney many times for mistakes that were made, so.
I'm not saying that that would be the case, but I mean, you know, even with our last land acquisition, we ended up getting a bill, like I did for the legal fees, so, it is a valid question to ask.
The last piece of land, you purchased it, didn't you?
We did, but we had money through a grant to pay the legal fees.
It was up on the Knight's Corner, wasn't it?
Up off Gulf Road, yeah.
Is this in the, any of the zones for the public supply law?
There is no more public supply well. The one that was Forever Green Golf,
Across the street, across.
On the other side.
Over on Jensen.
the old mini golf.
It probably does.
That's
I don't think it extends across the river.
Really?
I think
well, it's not a
the
public,
river's
it's not a public water supply anymore.
Oh, the Jensen Wells.
Oh, the town water wells.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the well that was behind Evergreen Golf.
No.
No.
Oh, okay, I'm
Public-
sorry. I'm
public
sorry. I-
supply
public-
well.
Well, we had
Public.
one too, but when it was
Yeah,
a
but
business.
yours
that's
is not a
dissolved.
public supply well.
Not anymore. No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, we had to go through all the motion with DEP to get rid of it.
The zone 2 for the town was something we, sorry, it's not a reason.
Yeah, the town water wells. Yeah, I don't know. They're on the other side of the brook.
Yeah. Contributing area is still going underneath.
Oh, I know that. I'm just saying where we do.
Okay, is there anything we need to vote on?
No, I don't think so. Unless you guys want to take a formal vote to accept the land donation
Well, we can't accept it.
or to support
That we
it.
support it.
You could.
I move we support the land donation and encourage the selectmen to accept it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. One
Okay.
question. We have to go, we're going to be seeing Sherman and Frederick soon, so can we tell them this is in the works and about how long before they can get something for their file? To let them know we've been here, we've been at least this far with it? After you see Steve, maybe
Yeah, I'd say
Donna could write something up, just to, nothing technical, just, we've been presented with this, so that they know that we actually came here and did this.
Yeah, I don't know, a time frame, I don't know. I mean, I was gonna reach out to Steve within the next couple of days to see if I could meet with him. But a time frame beyond that, I guess I don't really know until I've spoken with Steve.
Okay.
But I mean, you could tell him that, or tell Sherman and Frederick that the internal conversations have commenced.
Have started.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You could write a letter saying it was presented to the commission and they support the idea. However, it has to be other entities in town have to approve it.
I could do that. I'd rather do it all in one fell swoop though. But, yeah, I'll reach out to Steve tomorrow, see if I can meet up with him within the next couple days. And I've got Richard's phone number, so I can give you guys a call and let you know what's up.
Okay, that's good. Because they're kind of at a place where they need to gather this information to move forward too. So
Definitely.
that would be great.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
No problem. You good?
That lousy book.
That wasn't.
Fighting over these turtles.
Okay. Well, Sarah's doing her thing. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
I have another outstanding job.
So are there any additions, corrections, omissions that need to be addressed?
I don't know if, my question was whether or not Glenn Grabowski has an NE on the end of Glenn. GLEN, it does?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, he wrote his own name on the sign-in sheet. Yep, I double checked.
Thanks.
I didn't make that up, I swear.
You know, Glenn is spelled no E at the end.
Yeah, I got it off the.
Maybe he's,
I'll double check.
maybe he's Glenn E.
Oh,
It is Glenn
yeah,
E.
okay.
Grabowski, yeah.
Oh, E middle initial.
Two N's. I move we accept the minutes as tentatively amended.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes for May 19th are accepted. Next up, we have the bills. And once those get started going around, then we'll go on to Jason's Way. And while these are going around, we'll move on to Jason's Way.
Oh, sorry. I mean, I posed this question at the last meeting. The question came
Yeah.
to me is whether or not the open space is supposed to come to the town or not. I don't know.
I'm thinking it is.
Remind me
Because where else would it go?
Where's Jason's Way?
Willow, Aldrich, Meadow
Oh,
Pond.
right.
These roads all confuse me.
Yeah, me too.
This isn't the one with all the rusty barrels. I don't know, I get confused, so.
So this is actually a landlocked piece, and that's, oh, man. Are you waiting for all of them? Have you even mentioned that to anybody? Well, this piece that we're talking about is literally landlocked.
It was asked of me, and I don't have the answer. Honestly, this was asked of me like 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago.
What did Fed say?
He was the one who asked me this question.
See, I also threw out the possibility that they're not going to pay for it. Whoever's trying to give it to us.
Well, I don't know that anybody's necessarily trying to give it to us right now. I think the question was during the approval process, was this open space supposed to come to the commission? And I feel like that's a question for them to answer, not.
Yeah, it wouldn't be in our minutes either. It'd be in their.
No, it'd be in their minutes.
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, nobody's asked me about it since then. I just figured I'd ask you guys because you guys were around at that time.
So while we're on the topic, let's just have a little bit of discussion on it. So apparently there's a piece of open space, which as long as I remember, these newer subdivisions have always had land set aside for open space. But I've never seen it landlocked. So I'm kind of curious, did somebody go and sell a house lot that wasn't supposed to be sold, that was supposed to be our access to it?
Should show in the plan.
Yeah.
You don't have any access.
So there's no access to anybody. So this,
This was very confusing. A lot of different lots. They reconfigured lots.
So if this is actually open space, one of two things has to happen. That, well, right now, it's on the tax rolls. And if we take it, which is fine, which is supposed to, we being the town, it comes off the tax rolls, and that's all well and good. But nobody has access to it. Second choice is everybody stops paying taxes on it, and then it defaults to the town for nothing anyway. Or it gets donated to all the abutters and they start paying taxes on it.
Yeah, and we don't have to take any action on it.
No, but this is the discussion.
This was the planning board decision. Somebody donating open space as part of a negotiation for a permit doesn't happen with wetlands.
Yeah. Well, the open space would have been required for the subdivision.
Under their subdivision, yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like I shouldn't have even been asked that question.
And so I'm kind of curious, did somebody sell a piece of property that wasn't supposed to be sold? That was allow us access?
That could be, because I remember some fiddling going on. And again, I'm not familiar with it. Somebody might have grounds to go back after the developer.
I mean, not all open spaces have public access. Like, for example, I think the Mallard Estates subdivision, that open space parcel, which is under the ownership of the HOA, that has no frontage. It has no public access. It just meets the 25, or I think it's 25% open space.
But all of them have access to it.
They do, but I think.
I'm not even sure that happens here. I don't think all the people of this project have access to it.
Yeah,
Well, the immediate abutters.
Yeah.
But do all the abutters? I doubt all the abutters have frontage on this. Why?
No.
So, it's supposed to be something for the whole subdivision, not just a few select few.
Yeah, so again, I don't know.
That's why.
Yeah, I think Throw it back to Doug.
You know, this might
I
be
will.
something for Doug and
I will.
Dan Bodett, myself, and Steve, and maybe a couple others. We all should have a powwow over this.
I don't even think it's that big of a deal. Like,
Well,
I feel like it's,
I'm thinking that something didn't happen the way it should have.
I wouldn't know.
So who approached you?
Doug.
The town
Doug did.
plan.
And
Town
Doug
planner
said, are
approached-
we interested in this piece of property?
No, he asked if I knew if the open space for this subdivision was supposed to come to the town or not. And I said, I don't know. I will ask the commission. Because these open spaces don't have to come to the town. They can stay within an HOA. That, but how would I know?
Is there a resource that's important on this particular?
I don't
also?
even remember what parcel it was.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just asking.
Yeah.
There was a parcel in there with an isolated wet. I don't know if it's good.
I'm not sure. I think I was shown a map very
And
briefly.
and they moved it.
Of course they did. Well, was it a jurisdictional isolated wetland?
Yes.
Yes.
And it got resolved.
That stinks.
It got resolved. And that's the open space. You remember the discussion about whether there was supposed to be any development of that. I wonder if Pat was official. What was it the official name? Crap, wasn't the official name? Just asking.
It doesn't. Oh, okay.
Okay, Board of Health.
Self-censored.
Okay. All right. Just inquiring.
Yeah, I wish I remembered more about this, but again, I confused Jason's Way and Willow Lane with the other roads around there. So I'll ask Doug and see if I can figure out exactly.
Well, it doesn't matter because this is landlocked. Nobody can get to it.
Yeah.
I don't think
Unless somebody has managed to sneak a right of way into somebody's deed that's we're not aware of.
Yeah, and the
A
as-built
deeded
that we have
access.
is really only for the roadway, so it doesn't show where the open space might be. Yeah, this is only for the roadway.
Yeah.
So this doesn't really necessarily help.
So next up, we have Summer Hill Catch Basin cleaning complete.
Yeah.
So just insert a motion.
Yeah, 1 second. Before I make the motion, we circle back to, we had a conversation previously on why the reimbursement is still 16.5 cents. Why is it not 70 yet?
July 1st,
July 1st.
fiscal year.
Okay, thank you.
No?
I asked Jill not at the beginning of last fiscal year, the year before that, why the mileage reimbursement rate didn't go up. And I think at the time she said that the select board has to approve it, which I don't understand.
State, isn't it?
It's federal, actually.
Yeah.
It follows the federal reimbursement rate. So
We have a local bylaw saying a little bit less.
So,
I don't
okay.
think so.
So-
But I
That's why
also,
you're getting cheated.
yeah, big time. For like
So,
2
okay,
years.
okay. So I was told different, but okay. So if that's the case.
I went to start typing an email up about it last week, and I decided against.
Keep reminding you.
Well, one has to find the right words. to
Not
say.
this week. No, we don't want to deal with this week.
Yeah, I would.
No, I don't. I wasn't even talking about you. I was talking about everybody else.
Right.
But if that's the case, then I will have a conversation because that's where that starts. And actually, I will also have a conversation with the court. Actually, I will have that I don't need to wait till next week on that conversation.
I mean, I was under the impression that the mileage reimbursement rate goes up as the federal reimbursement rate goes
Well,
up.
yeah, but I also understand too that with our fiscal year being July 1 to June 30th, that it may not necessarily be reflected in the budget that's already in place, so that they would have to create it in the budget process in the spring, effective July 1st. So as long as you still got that 12 months, this should work.
I guess
As it was, I will start off by having a conversation with Nicole. I can do that this week. Steve, at least in this early part of the week, I would anticipate is going to be straight out, at least through Wednesday afternoon.
Something going on.
Yeah, there's a full recount coming. The entire election's having to be hand counted on Wednesday. And they are like up to here trying to do the planning and get Koppelman and Page and all of the that worked out. Yes. 21 votes.
Should we be keeping track of the miles that have been underpaid for future?
Town accountants got all that.
Once we transition into a new fiscal year, there's no going back. I could,
Well,
out
that's
of
not
wetlands
entirely
filing
true,
fee
but-
funds, potentially reimburse myself for missed out mileage from past years. She cannot.
Well, I'll just keep reminding it.
Well, in the most recent year. So wait a minute. So right now you are at 62 whatever, which is the current rate that was set for 24, correct?
No, that rate was set not last year, the year before. That rate was set when I started in 2022. It has not gone up since 2022. And when we came to
I am going to tell you.
I asked about it, and I was told that that it's a select board issue. That we don't automatically just jump.
I thought you were only a year behind.
No, we're years behind.
Years behind. My mistake. See, some years it goes up, some years it goes down.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I haven't asked again because I got the sense that asking again wasn't gonna get me anywhere.
No, I
don't know
will.
how towns handle things differently.
Yep,
When
nope,
I
nope,
worked
nope,
in Greenfield,
nope.
we, with the federal or the fiscal year, our mileage reimbursement rate got up. So again,
I will have a conversation this week. I will put a bug in her ear tomorrow. Well, actually, I'll do it tonight when I get home. I know they're next door right now, so it's.
Okay, but we let discussion out of the way.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Bills are paid. Now, back to Summer Hill, and the catch basins are clean. Is there anything else for that conversation? Exclusive of what I was going to bring up. Is she going somewhere, or is she going somewhere?
So, 27 Texas and 17, 6 manholes and 10 sewers.
Okay. Okay, so
35 yards of
okay. Last meeting, they were in front of us and they told us they were giving us a maintenance plan on the basin, correct? And at the time, they said their contractor, their landscapers, whoever it was proposing to use RM 43 per the minutes. And at the time, I stated, and it was so noted in the minutes, that I wanted to look into it. Well, I did look into it. It's Roundup. And I have a bit of a problem with that. It's just Roundup by another name. Thing is how the patent, Monsanto's patent on Roundup ran out in 2004. So now other companies are making their own version of it. It's still Roundup.
Is it Roundup or Rodeo?
No, it's Roundup.
It is Roundup.
It
It's
is
still
unadulterated Roundup.
It is still glyphosate.
Yep.
It's a different
I understand the difference. No, this is still Roundup.
and that is the standard thing used on.
I get it.
Because Tricopherol doesn't work on grasses, it's considered a grass.
But product labeling does contraindicate anywhere where there is or could be standing water. That's right in their own product label, Monsanto's product labeling for Roundup.
That's why you use rodeo.
That could be. But,
You're saying that definitely Roundup?
yep, it is. I looked at it. I went right down through the chemical list. It is Roundup.
It's in the buffer zone.
And what is rodeo, David?
Rodeo is still glyphosate, they're both glyphosate,
Right.
but it's got a different surfactant. It doesn't dissolve in the water or something.
So, actually, I would like to look at the labeling on that.
You know, so we said, or we
So-
noted in the minutes that it was not heavy wind. I don't want it done with anything. I know that-
And I still want to look into this some more. If you're going to say rodeo, I want to look into that.
I mean, I don't like any of it. But to get
Well,
rid
I
of
mean,
the-
we're still in the zone of influence of an ORW, as well as some other public wells in proximity. And of course, then there's always,
Did you check with Kevin?
I did actually,
Kevin
no,
said not to use it?
I didn't ask him specifically about rodeo, but certainly on this material, which is a Roundup clone, that absolutely. I did have that conversation with him just today.
And this is the knotweed issue?
Yeah,
Right.
I would like
Is
to
this the
continue.
only stuff that'll work on knotweed?
Yeah.
Well, there's probably some other stuff that is not so close. Tricopherol, which is brush be gone, that's the brand name, is better than rodeo or Roundup, except it doesn't kill grasses. And knotweed is a grass, and it won't kill the knotweed. So I don't know if there's another one that is more acceptable.
Maybe.
I don't.
There actually might be. As I said, I want to do some more research.
I
But
can't-
now, since you're
I
saying,
can't disagree with you at all,
Huh?
Ed. I'm glad you have Kevin.
he's looking at it as it affects public water supply. I mean, I'm aware of it going way back. I know it's even remotely could have access to full water fisheries. It's contraindicated. Anything having to do with public water supply, in this case, letting it where there's open water in the basin, and it could get down into the water table. Yeah. All of these reasons are reasons why you don't use Roundup or any of its clones in that area. I do want to look at it for rodeo, though. I didn't look at the labeling for that. Next up, we have a bunch of COCs.
I think we had the first three are all for the same property.
So they are. I only got the requests for 365 and 465 today. 104-91, that's from 1985. That I have no problem with issuing today. 365 was from 93, 465 was from 97. I am going over to the site on Wednesday. I don't think that there's any like cause for concern for those two to issue a COC, but we could wait until the 23rd, seeing as how I'm going to the site. I just haven't had time to get there for those.
Is there any reason to even do the first one tonight?
We just do them all the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, the attorney's got to deal with them all at the same time.
So 91 wasn't actually recorded. It's the only one that got flagged by DEP. 365 and 465 were recorded. DEP didn't find those. I found those. I don't even think 91 has a site plan. So I don't know what I'd be confirming or denying. It's from 1985.
That was 2 years before I got on.
It was long before I was born. So, I mean, we can wait for all three. Again, I didn't get the paperwork for the second two until today. So we can wait to do all of those until the next meeting so that I can at least take a look around.
So who caught 91?
DEP. And then when I was searching through our files,
So
I
that,
found the
I
next
mean,
two.
I mean, from what I know now, that's not even a valid address, Old Springfield Road. I understand it, but it wasn't. No, I get it. I
It's
get
the
it.
same parcel ID.
Yeah, and a lot of issues with the street names through the years till they had to go through and actually codify them until it's.
I suggest we table those three
That'd be my suggestion, because the attorney's going to have to deal with them all together anyway. So we may as well just hand them over as a package.
Yeah, that works.
Let's get a site.
Yep, 681 George Hannum.
That one is good to go.
All the lawns in it and everything?
Yeah, for a while. Very
I haven't driven over there in a while, so I haven't.
Very well
I mean, I used to drive by there every day. Last I knew, it was just all dirt.
Where's 681?
Past Kirk Stevens on the left. There was a new house being constructed right across this. No, no.
Gotcha. No, I know where you mean.
Yes, on the left. Yes.
So this is a recent one.
Yes. And across the street was next door to that other one we were doing the other day with the lawn.
Yep.
This is right across the street.
So how do we issue a certificate of compliance for 681 George Hannum Road?
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. (17) Lexington. I'm kind of curious on that one. Isn't that, Peter, isn't that part of the whole Sheffield?
There are umpteen
Part of something.
partial certificates of
I thought we
compliances.
closed all of that out.
Not that I've been able to find, not that their closing attorney has been able to find. This particular house, all the way up on the hill, there are no wetlands involved. So it's just a partial to allow the real estate transaction to go through.
I move we issue a parcel for 17 Lincoln Drive, Lexington Drive.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So wait a minute. So, I mean, I'm not disputing this. I'm just, so when Peter walked away from the project and we took over, we had to sign off on all of it so that the town could accept it.
Did the town accept it? Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did. So I'm asking, why wouldn't these have all been picked up in that?
I don't know, there was a consent order, there was all between DEP and Peter Galuska, and, oh yeah, it was all, there were
Maybe it was just
escrow
never
accounts.
recorded or anything.
Every
maybe?
time a lot was sold.
I mean, you know the history, right? You know what we're talking about. Okay, so,
We got $10,000 every time a lot that went into an escrow account to pay the contractor to do the work, to finish it up and build this.
so in
build
the end,
application, yeah.
the developer walked away from the project with some issues still outstanding.
Oh,
I'm just trying to, and at that point, by doing so, however, it allowed the town to step in, and now I don't think the town wanted to take over the project, but the town then could start taking care of the issues. And I would have thought, so wait, did we ever issue one?
I started looking through the certificates of compliance recorded at the Registry of Deeds. I started with the most recent, going back. I made it through maybe about 10 of them before I ran out of time. All of them were partials. Going up into maybe, I want to say the most recent one was in like 2022. So what that tells me is that no
Yeah, we did.
complete
Yeah, we voted on Lexington.
certificate of compliance has ever been issued.
I will,
We wouldn't be issuing partials if a full.
That's what I'm saying.
but I would have thought that before the town could have even started doing work up there and even assuming taking on some of those issues, that we would have had to have done something.
I mean,
I thought the town accepted it.
like the roads around the lakes aren't accepted by the town. The staff.
Well,
town
because
still
theoretically,
surveys them.
Terrace is not a town road,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the town.
but
still
it never was and
maintains
was
them,
never meant to be.
But like
Channel Drive is.
I checked in with Donna about it, and this was a couple weeks ago, and I forget what she said.
I still have the letter. I will get it to you.
Excuse me, so we're signing this partial for 17 Lexington Drive. Did we ever vote on it?
I thought we voted on it.
Yeah.
Did we vote on it? We did.
DHDB 600 NFD.
Great.
Yeah, we did vote on it.
Thank you. That's what I'm asking.
What's in FD?
No further discussion.
I've got the letter. I will send it to you.
We haven't even been able to find this file.
I got it. I've got a letter.
I'm saying.
It will give you a place to
For
start.
Sheffield
I'm
Estate,
saying for my, yes.
it fills a room.
I wish I could.
It
That would be
probably
easier
fill
for me.
boxes.
Probably down in the closet, they got flooded and they threw everything out.
I have a letter. It's stored in my computer. I actually looked at it the other day and thought about deleting it, and I didn't. So I will find it and send it to you, and that will give you a little bit of background information about the project and this whole general bigger issues. And it was basically the letter that we all got sent when he walked away from it. And once you have that, that might lead you on a path of connecting with all the other information.
Or we put it together and issue a certificate of compliance.
I thought we did.
Whole project.
I thought we did. So that the town could then accept it and start dealing with the issues up there. That's what I'm thinking is I thought we had already issued a COC for the entire project.
Not that I could find
That
it.
I found.
See, that's what I'm thinking is that
It
there's,
just never got recorded, maybe, but,
well, the town would have had to have done
oh,
it.
that's true, Donna.
Okay, so this will go up.
As I said, let me find that letter and
Is
send it to
in
you,
your
the
file
two of
or
you.
whatever the-
I was just looking at it the other day. It's in one of my computers.
You
I've got
need
it.
to know
I
that.
can add that.
What?
No.
We have something that didn't make the agenda.
What's that?
It's a preliminary subdivision plan, but we have, the planning board is acting on it on June 24th. I haven't even really looked at it.
So we can look at it. It's just a discussion item. It's just information. We can look at that right now.
It's what?
We're not acting on anything. We're not voting on it.
Is
We're
this
not.
back to the open space question?
No.
Same
no.
area,
This is a new-
different.
So this is just they're looking for comments. Yeah, we can look at this.
So it's not an A and R.
No, it's a preliminary subdivision plan. Property is 24 acres, mostly flat and wooded between Aldrich Street and the south of Jason's Way to the north.
Who owns this?
Plan shows 18 lots.
This Mishi Moon Path.
Sorry, I only have one copy of the plan.
It's O'Brien.
Yeah.
His parents, that's another parcel off the end. This is the Baker Street. Aldrich? Yeah.
Yep.
That went all the way through.
Jason's way. Jason's way there.
So wait a minute. So wait a minute. So is this Jabesh Brook through here?
Not Jabesh.
I mean, not Jabesh. No, Jabesh is over here.
Yeah. Jabesh is out here. But I don't know what the name of that brook is. It starts in a little wetland up here. Between Terry and Eagle.
Wait a minute. So this is the one that floods, has the big dam that you can't get from here to here. Yeah, I think it is in here.
Yeah,
I bet this is following that.
yeah, that wetland.
And that's what keeps this from connecting to Sabin.
Yeah.
So here, take, we're just getting an early view on the,
It's got wetlands delineated. The other side was delineated. This subdivision. So it's this.
so
there
this
are
is,
wetlands and-
this is where they're looking for comments from us back to the planning board.
So our standard for the subdivision, there are wetlands, we haven't reviewed them on this side, and over here, we haven't reviewed the delineation. It's going to require
There's some down here.
some down here.
Yeah, it's good everywhere.
I mean, if it's in the buffer zone, if the road's in the buffer zone, which appears to be, it is up on this end anyway. And if it is on this end,
So this has got to be the backside of that, up through here. This is the part where you can't drive up this.
Yeah.
This has got to be that system.
yep, it is. But, so there are wetlands that, and actually, this is a different system here. This is the main wetland that goes
Up there,
here.
yeah.
And then this is a little fork of it. It comes all the way up into here. Tofino.
Well, LaFleur did Meadow Pond. And we have an A&R for 230 Allen. And we still have the right of first refusal for Cold Spring. I thought we dealt with that.
There's another one.
Oh, the death by 1,000 cuts?
Yeah, that one's easy. They're just moving that lot line, the tiniest bit.
Well, I would say send them the standard letter.
Which line?
I assume,
That's so they can get curve around.
yeah.
Where's Sabrina's house? Sabrina's house is right here.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
Does
Oh, is that
Favos-
where we're at?
Does Favos own Sabrina's house? It's the middle of the gravel pit.
Yeah, so that gravel pit, they're trying to put 3 houses in that gravel pit, so they need that little bit more room for a common driveway.
Then why don't they use that to get to the lot on the other side instead of doing that?
They're gonna try. There's a lot in between Sabrina's house and our house. They wanna,
It's owned by
Use that.
Hayward who owns this.
they wanna use that. That'll be just the third house.
Go around.
They're gonna go, so you know how there's already like there's houses in the frontage, they're gonna put 3 in the back.
Yeah. There's 2 in the front now.
This is a wetland limit. So,
I'm looking, so this is what we're dealing with right now, the right of first refusal. But I'm still looking at this and wondering if they're trying to, what's that gonna leave?
We haven't done it on any of them because we wouldn't be able to afford it for one thing.
No, I understand that. I'm just trying to see if there's a hardship down the road. But it's not our issue anyway. I have no, at this point, not much to do about it. So do you need the comments on that?
For the preliminary subdivision plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, portions are in the buffer zone, there's wetlands on the property that have not been confirmed. Portions within the buffer zone need a filing. Stormwater, all that stuff, but
Yeah, there's no stormwater shown on that plan.
Yeah, because it's preliminary. I don't know that they would necessarily show stormwater.
There's not even room.
Yeah, with as
They're
much
gonna lose a couple
resource
lots.
area and buffer around
Yeah.
it, there may not be room to accommodate all that stormwater.
They're not gonna get
Yeah,
18
that's
lots or whatever.
kind of one of, like, I hadn't had the chance to look at it, but I do know, like, for example, like, you can't convert wetlands to stormwater. Like, even if you're filling in a 500 square foot finger, you cannot convert wetlands to stormwater. So there's that. And then, all of our other local provisions about no disturb zones and at a minimum, any floating drains or other drainage structures have to be in a minimum of 25 feet from the limits of wetland resource areas, which again, wetlands are not in. So, I'll put all that into a memo. That's helpful. At least we'll have that prepared and ready to go in advance of their review date. Or the latest meeting that planning board will have to act on it is June 24, so at least I'll be able to get that out beforehand. So that works. Sorry, that didn't make it onto the agenda.
That's fine.
I have no
That's
idea.
just a discussion
It's in
item.
the pile. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, that's okay. That's just a discussion item. We're not making any decisions on it. We can deal with that. What's a hard no is anything we got to vote on,
Yeah, right.
which that was not.
Yeah. I think I thought that was the A&R plan for Allen Street. And I was like, oh, we're good. We got it. We're all good.
And that's just getting the standard letter.
Yeah. A&R, standard letter, sweet.
And they're looking at the RFR right now.
Yeah, I think Andrea said that this is the second to last lot on Cold Spring.
There's one more.
I think she said that there was one more, right?
Is that anticipated anytime soon?
She didn't indicate.
next week.
Probably.
Soon.
Do we have any discussion, concerns, questions about the right of first refusal?
we need a motion on that?
We do.
I move,
If that's what we wish.
I move we recommend that the selectmen do not exercise some right. First reviews.
Okay, we have a motion. Did everybody hear it?
No.
So the motion is that there's a motion to recommend to the selectmen that they do not exercise their right of first refusal on this parcel.
On the Cold Spring,
Yes.
right.
And it's not because I don't want it. It's just, you've already said that made the same decision on the last 3 lots.
On everything that's next to it.
And everything is next to it because we can't afford it. It's not next to anything. It's not. It's just-
As has so often been said, it's death by 1,000 cuts. So we have a motion.
Second.
We do have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
So with this Allen Street plan,
There are no wetlands up there.
so the
That's
question had come in about doing a common drive through this revised estate lot to allow building on this lot and the adjacent lot.
Which is the adjacent.
Yeah.
So
So
it's all
that,
coming back to me.
So it's coming onto the Hayward lot?
So the common drive would come in through here and come in to allow lots over, like to develop these 2 lots. So,
Right now, this has approval for a lot, for a,
well, their
driveway.
concern was building close to these, putting the
Mine-
driveway close to the wetlands.
mine too, and they've already got it.
But they're gonna be looking for a variance to be able to put the common drive in over here. So that's what I would, it just came back to me last week, or today, from last week, that they're gonna be asking the planning board for a variance to put the common driveway in on this new lot to allow the development of these 2 lots.
I would prefer it to get rid of that driveway. That's already approved.
I wasn't told that that driveway was already approved.
I think, yeah, that will.
This is the house that's built, right?
Yeah.
And this one's built.
The one that,
There's a house there.
middle.
This is Sabrina's house.
Yep.
Then there's a lot there. And then there's, this
the
is,
house on the-
and this is where we had all the trouble with the erosion. Were you here then? Okay. That little ditch in the front. I mean, and this is the house, I believe, that's already there.
Yep.
And there's another house right next door. I don't know, maybe there's 2.
There's not a house in the middle.
There's not a house,
So there's a house here and a house here, but not here.
Okay, so there is approval for a driveway here to access this lot, which I would really like to see go away.
Okay, I was confused. I thought you were saying you wanna see that
No,
happen
no.
there.
No, you want to see
Okay.
that go away.
Okay,
I
all
always
right, so
thought
we're
that-
on the same page here.
I
Okay,
always-
So,
There
yeah,
is approval for that.
okay.
so I would support this. Yeah, under those conditions, we're getting rid of that.
Okay, cool.
That's all just great big sandbank up there.
And there is approval for this one too. There's a house in
Can't
here
do anything about that one.
right there with a wetland crossing.
Cool.
Do we have anything else to come before us tonight?
I'm thinking.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
That's my thinking face.
Okay.
Don't think too hard.
I try not to. I guess the only other thing I can say is that I've been working with Doug and Kestrel Land Trust. We're looking to apply for a land grant. We have 2 different properties that we're looking at. Land grant's due July 8th. I'm still not sure that we've decided which project that we're going to apply for a land grant for, but I think we know. we're either looking at Mahal Walker, which is up off of Route 202, or we're looking at Gordon Boyce's property, which is off of Old Farm Circle. But I think that the Mahal Walker project ranks higher on the land grant scoring system. The kicker is we have to get the Mahal Walker property reappraised, one of which because the appraisal report that we have is expired, if you will. But also too, it was done, the appraisal that was done was not, it doesn't meet OEEA standards. Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to be able, if Kestrel's going to be able to pull off another appraisal before July 8th. But we do have, it's the same issue with Boyce though, and I don't know why these particular appraisal reports were done, because they're restricted appraisal reports that don't meet EEOEA whatever standards.
What is a restricted?
I don't know. All I know is I have a guidance document that specifies the specific type of appraisal report that can be done. So I'm working on, at our next meeting, there very well may be a motion to apply for a land grant. Steve is aware that we've been working on these projects, so I don't know that I necessarily need select board approval for that. And both property owners are aware that, it's contingent upon getting a land grant, getting match money from CPA and other funding sources, and that, it's not something that will happen immediately.
Does that abut Jabesh Brook?
Yes, and it abuts the Quabbin as well.
So
that's part of the reason why that project ranks higher on the scoring for land grant. Whereas, the Boyce property is gorgeous and it has rare species habitat, but it's also an island, if you will. So those are two things we've been working on. And
great, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's it.
How are those two plots identified to begin with?
What do you mean?
Well, just all the parcels you could be looking at or properties to be looking at. Why did those two stand out?
The landowners approached us for permanent conservation of their land.
Often, how many of those do we get?
A lot lately.
Is that right?
Yeah. A lot of people are
probably going to get a lot more too.
A lot of people
in the
are
near future.
freaking out and they want to sell their land essentially. And some want to sell it for conservation, some want to sell it for non-conservation dollars, but we've been getting approached by a lot of people lately. From things as small as 5 acres up to a couple, 100, maybe a little bit more.
How big is the Mahal?
I think it's 175 acres, I want to say.
People that don't want to sell, or don't want to have it developed, but they want to offload it for tax reasons.
That is
some revenue.
Yeah, a lot of,
property that
permanent
Alan
conservation,
Page
tax reasons,
had
dollar
access to.
figures,
He might-
each situation's kind of different. But, and a lot of people have more been approaching Kestrel about this, and then it gets funneled to my office. And so there's a lot of
This has
opportunity
gotta
out
be
there,
between
but
Kimball.
I think a lot of people are like chomping at the bit because they're
So
a
Alan
bit
King
worried
is
about
looking for a bunch
what
of
may or may not happen.
near Kimball. So
Mm,
I'm guessing
exactly.
this is like a
So,
lot land to the south of that, but still north
Yeah.
of
It's very interesting.
Kovac.
It abuts Sheffield. There's that whole strip.
Must be way out in the back.
Yeah.
And then I do have another land donation where the property owner wants to donate this property, but it has been brought to my attention that if a property is worth more than valued more than $25,000, it has to go to town meeting for acceptance, which I didn't think
Wait,
that
what?
was, yeah, that's. and
That'd be
according-
like every piece of property.
And according to Steve, that is the case. I have not confirmed this with the town attorney, but I didn't think that that was the case when it comes to a land donation. But there may be a loophole around that. I won't disclose the property owner's name because I feel like that's still sensitive information and it's in the works. But this particular property owner wants to donate this parcel, just donate it. So yeah, I need to figure out if that's actually true. I reached out to a colleague about that and she told me that that's not the case, that all it has to do is be accepted by the commission and the select board. So I didn't think that that was the case. And
They
to
just
me,
stop paying taxes on it, we'll get it anyway.
and to me, it seems counterintuitive, right? I mean, or counter conflicting. Like if somebody wants to donate their land to the town and have that be their legacy, how is that something that needs to go to town meeting? These are things that I don't have the answers
Well, I
for.
guess
Because it's worth more than $25,000?
Do they?
Who
does it
stated
incur
that?
some sort of
Steve did.
management, like are we responsible, is the town then responsible for the management of that property? So is there a
Yeah.
price that comes with it?
Well, we would be responsible for the management of that property, but we don't manage any of our properties other than trail maintenance. It's not like we do active
Are they,
forestry or anything like that.
Are they in a rush to get rid of it?
There is the health consideration of the current property owner, so
Okay.
sort of.
So, okay.
So, but then again, I probably would have reached out to Sharon already, but I worry about reaching out to the town attorney because, I don't know that I have the money to pay that bill, even if it's a 10-minute conversation. I don't know. So those are at least two projects that I'm working on right now.
There's gotta be a way around that.
And for the land donation, I think I have a workaround
Okay.
in which we buy the property for $1.
There you go.
Then we purchased it, right?
Then we still have to do the closing costs and all that again.
Yeah. But we may have some help with that through Kestrel as well.
How big a parcel are we talking about?
30 acres with an existing open trail system. It's nice property. I've walked it.
Can you tell us where it is?
I don't want to disclose that information just yet. That's my land acquisition update, and that's all I've got.
So with that, is there anything else?
No.
I move, we move. Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Or should I say, does anybody want to stay?
No, sir. Thank you. We did